Hey, what's going on, guys? Jamal Long here, providing guys with another trading recap video. Capping off the week up $188, right? So that brings my total this week over 600 bucks, right? So just continuously grinding, right? Just slowly grinding, making things work, and yeah, it's a great way to cap off the week because last week I took a big loss, right? I think I was down like 540, right? So took a loss last week. But this week I bounced back and captured all those gains and then some, right? So that just goes to show the resiliency and my trading strategy that actually works, right? Last week was due to technical issues, but this week it's just been about pure, you know, pure identif- purely identifying the levels, right? Just staying true to my trades and staying true to my principles, and so that's what it's all about. So let's just get right to the recap. So today I ended up trading a SPY, right? And so typically I'm always watching a SPY, but today in particular, I was watching a SPY because we had some economic news coming out, right? And so today the economic data was the jobs report. So last month we added 191,000, right? And so once that news came out at 8:30, as you can see, the market gapped up, right? So we gapped up, could not break above this 288.28 level before pulling back, right? So we went up, attempted to retest, and just chopping around here. And so when you see this type of action, when you see this descending level of resistance, and after a huge gap up is starting to break down, you can expect the stock to continue to move in that downward trend. And so we got that as the market opened, right? And so I waited to take a position on the SPY. So as you can see, we ran up slightly and then we pulled back, right? We held this level of support, right? At 288, 287.87, right? So we held that level and I said to myself, hey, let's watch this and see what happens. At the same time, I was just watching the entire time. But after a few minutes, I was able to plot this descending level of resistance because this was acting as a level of resistance, right? And typically when you see that type of action, you can say, you know what, hey, let's consider taking the trade. And so that's exactly what I did. So once I saw this push up and fail, I got in literally around the same time frame, right? So got in and I took this ride down, right? So literally took this nice little ride down. Typically I would jump out just as we come into support, but today I completely started to disregard my principles, and I was up about 180 bucks on this position to start off the day, but then I started to be greedy, right? I was like, hey, let's see if this goes down further, right? And as you can see, it bounced nicely before running up. So I ended up jumping out just before we got to this level, right? So jumped out about right here for a $90 win, and that was my first trade. So I think my first trade, I'm not sure what was going on today, but um, it was a Friday. I just completely disregarded my principles, right? Because I took another trade as well. And that trade was a few minutes later. So about 10:30, I saw this price action that we had right here, right? So I had plotted this level because I'm always plotting trends. Everything that I see, I plot. And so I plotted this level right here, which as you can see, it was acting as a level of resistance. And so when we ran up and we started to pull back, as you can see, we started to hold that level. I thought we would push higher, but we didn't. And so as we broke below this level, that's where, once we broke below this level, I said, oh, let's watch this. Let's make it interesting, right? And then we pushed back up and we failed, right? So we broke below this level. So we broke below this level, right? Pushed back up, came down, we failed, right? And once we fail, that's kind of where I decided to jump in. That's kind of where I decided to jump in. And so jumped in about right in this level. Took this nice little ride down. Typically, as I mentioned, I like to pull out just before support. I did not. So on this position, I was up about 200 bucks, 200 and something. Did not sell. I did not sell. Because I was expecting this to potentially get back to 288. Right? Because I think that was me being greedy, right? And in this game, you can't be greedy, right? It's always better to leave some on the table than to walk away with it, nothing, right? And so as you can see, we made this huge move down, and I did not jump out. And as you can see, the stock pushed back up, right? Huge move up. And I was thinking about jumping out, but I was like, hey, this is a level of resistance. Just watch this, right? So we pushed back up before failing and pulling back down. So this was another opportunity for me to get out. But I said to myself, this is a lower low, right? So this is a lower low. So let's watch this and see what happens. But as you can see, we pushed up. And so I ended up holding on to this position, right? Held on to this position. And then as we pushed up, I was down, right? So I think I was down about 90 bucks overall, right? For the day. And I said, you know what? I'm thinking about getting rid of this, but I knew this 50 level would be a huge level of resistance. So as we pull back down, this was another opportunity for me to get out, but I did not get out, right? So I'm like, bro, you are completely disregarding your principles, and this is not good, right? So as we pushed up, we failed this level up here before pulling back. This is where I decided to get out. But I guess my main driver there was I had a meeting at 11:30, so I needed to get out. So I was in this position for a long time, and it's one of those things where I allowed FOMO, which fear of missing out, get to me today, right? And I shouldn't have let that happen, right? But I'm still finishing up the day up 188 bucks. Making 90 on the first position, 98 on the second position. So no complaints, right? I just need to do better going forward. But on that note, today's Friday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend out here in Maryland. So I plan on just taking advantage of the weather, enjoying life, getting out, go for a jog, may go golfing, may fly a plane. I may fly a plane. Yeah, I may do that. Or I think my lesson's next week. So on that note, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll pick this back up the next time I trade.